Hey guys, Zelonius here. Welcome to another video on the channel. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the new patch that EA dropped and how I recommend playing on it. So the new patch dropped yesterday. I've played maybe 20 to 30 games on it. So obviously I would want a full weekend league to really get a really better understanding of it. But I played a lot of games on my road to glory in it last night. I think like 10 on there, then 10 to 15 probably on my main account. Here in the background, we've just got a game of me playing in the Elite Division, and I'm going to talk about my first impressions and if I feel much has changed, and talk about some of the key points of the new patch and what it means moving forward. So, one of the first things I'd talk about would be the outside of the foot trivela shots, long shots in general. I don't really remember getting many chances to hit a finesse, but I did hit a couple of crazy finesses still, and they did not seem affected. So one of the things they said they were going to fix was keepers moving too far off the line on long shots. I don't really think that's been changed, personally, too much. Finesse shots were still flying in the top corner from crazy positions. And the trivela, so that's the L2 outside of the foot shot, they 100% still feel the same to me. They're still just as accurate. Keepers really don't seem to do much against them. So for me, in terms of the long shooting moving forward, I will not be changing anything there. If anything, I'm still using them plenty because one of the things that I like about the formation I'm using at the moment, the 4-2-2, is that the Ram and Lamp set up such good positions and angles for the trivela shots that it just works really well for me. So when new patches come out, sometimes based on what happens in the patch, new formations can start to be really good. Some formations might be indirectly nerfed by the patch. For me, no change really in terms of the form. A lot of the good formations are really good because they set up the long shots really well. Any formation like that, for me, personally, wouldn't be changed too much. So that, one of the key parts in the patch, really not changed anything too much in my opinion. One thing we do see when we get new patches a lot of the time is sometimes it feels like something's changed that wasn't necessarily in the patch notes. I don't believe that EA are lying to us. I don't think that EA are just making things up or they've changed stuff and just won't tell us. I think more the case of what could happen is sometimes when you change one thing, it could indirectly have a knock-on, or directly even have a knock-on effect on something else, or might even affect something in a way EA didn't even realise. Sometimes that can happen in coding, I'm sure. I would say there's not really anything too specific that I felt so far in this patch. I remember on previous patches they've not mentioned game speed, and then it's been quite, I wouldn't say quite obvious, but I guess fairly noticeable that things have changed. The game speed, how this game plays, the right way, so to speak, the meta ways of playing, still feel pretty similar to me. I don't feel that this patch has changed things too drastically. One thing that the FIFA community think the first patches are notorious for is ruining the game. I've always been against that concept. My view's always a case of, well, the new patches, when they come out on the game, they might change a few things, and it can sometimes be quite a big change. I don't think this one is a patch like that, but it's more for me that people start to discover the things that are broken. Nice header there. That's a good corner technique, by the way. I'll just rewind that one for you. You take it short, bait to go to the man who took the corner, whip it in, and then just head it into the corner. It's very hard for people to deal with those corners if the cross works well. But yeah, I was saying that generally speaking, for me with a patch, I don't think it, unless it's a drastic change to the game, which we rarely see at the start, it's more normally fine-tuning and tweaking things. I don't personally think that it is the patches that break the game. I just think people have started to play the game more. They've had weeks to learn what's broken, what they can exploit on the game. People in the community start to pick up on it, and then we start to see really crazy things, and then people are like, oh, the patch did this. Like FIFA 19, the first time finesses, El Tornado crosses, the volleys, all those things. They were always there. It just took people a while to find them. So that's one thing I'd say about new patches. I think one of the things that EA talked about in this patch was getting the ball back better on standing tackles. I think that it's somewhat noticeable. I do think the tackling's a little bit more rewarded. You still get the crazy stuff where you don't get the ball back. I would say, personally, it's still a long way off what I would want. I feel like if... That was Paul by me there. I feel like if you get the ball in a tackle, for the most part, you should be pretty much always getting it back. It rewards bad play if you can get away with it and keep getting the ball. It also punishes good play, aggressive manual defending. So I personally think that I think if an AI tackles the ball, the chance of getting the ball back should be a lot lower. But I think if you manually step in, especially with someone with a high standing tackle stat, you should get the ball back a lot more consistently. And I don't think that's been the case for a few years on FIFA. This patch, somewhat, I think you can see it. I still think we need it to be upped more and more. I don't mind too much EA like tweaking stuff. You saw there that would have gone in the top corner if I'd have put more power on. The keeper still stands off the line. Like I say, I still think that they need to up it a little bit, and I'd rather EA, I guess, fine tune stuff and tweak it a little bit than just drastically change something that breaks the game or makes it too bad in one way. One of the biggest things I hated about this game in the first few weeks was the passing. Passing has been very inconsistent. There's been bugs where it just locks on to the wrong player. There's been I don't know how his keeper saved that, by the way. There's been times when I've done like a 6-yard pass and my player just completely misses the ball, as in like just doesn't lock onto him, or I do what I think is a very simple, easy pass and he just misses. But then someone's playing a 180-degree crazy chip through ball that I just couldn't possibly defend. Ground passes, particularly X on PlayStation or A on Xbox, didn't feel good enough. This patch said it was upping the velocity, so the speed of ground passes. And I would say that is probably the most notable change on this patch. I definitely think the passing's improved. I still think it needs to be improved more. I think the driven pass accuracy needs slightly upping. I don't think it needs to be crazy upped. I don't want driven passes to be OP, but I think they do need a slight tuning to make them a little bit more viable. I think that the accuracy of general ground passes needs slightly upping. I think there's just generally a bug, in my opinion, where passes just don't lock on properly. It's not quite as bad. One thing, though, that I think this will affect moving forward is that I think formations like the narrow, which until this patch in the first few weeks of the game, I just didn't recommend because I thought the passing and dribbling is so bad that you just can't use them at a high level. And by that, when I say a high level, definitely at a pro level, you wouldn't be able to use them effectively. But I also mean even at lower levels, in the lower divisions, you're not going to be able to use them as well as you would other formations. So my opinion was to use more formations that give width. I think width on FIFA is good anyway, but narrow formations that rely on quick passing and dribbling just weren't viable. Is it viable now? I'd still say I don't think these formations are going to be as good, in my opinion. But moving forward, I definitely think the passing's a lot better than it was. It still needs to be upped there, personally, in my opinion. But I would be considering, I might try the narrow in the next week or two and see how it feels now. One of the things that didn't get touched at all was the dribbling. There was, I guess, a few slight things to do with like bug fixes where players were not keeping the ball with them. I've still noticed that doesn't seem to be fixed. But yeah, I want the dribbling to be made much better. I've had people in my stream tell me, no, the dribbling's fine. It's more of a realistic football game. Lionel Messi, Neymar, players like this can barely turn on this game consistently. So I think the dribbling needs to be changed. Nothing really changed in the patch with that. I think that they need to look at, especially, this is a new gen issue more so, but I feel like pace just isn't working properly right now. The explosive archetype players, so like Garincha's explosive for me, they just feel so slow. My Garincha has 99 pace, and I'm telling you, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter who he's against. If they have at least 75 to 80 pace and they're lengthy, they'll always get him. He can't get away from anyone. I know explosive's supposed to be slower over a distance, but it doesn't really even seem to give an explosive start like the name would suggest. So I definitely think future patches really need to look into the pace, the accelerate run types, and they need to look into the dribbling a bit more. One thing I would say I've noticed as well, I noticed a lot less ridiculous keeping errors. One thing that kept bugging me on the first few weeks of the game was that keepers could let in so many stupid shots that were straight at them. this would be random. So you could have it happen twice, 3 times a game, and then your opponent not happen once, or vice versa. That was really bad for the game and really inconsistent. That does seem to be a lot better on this patch. So personally, moving forward, this patch has improved the game right now, I think. I still need to play it more. And when I say this, I'm in the Elite Division. I lost about 10 skill rating over about 3 hours of playing, so I probably lost about 1 more game than I won. So this is someone who lost more games than he won on the new patch. On my road to glory, I didn't lose a game because I'm in the lower divisions. But yeah, this isn't like I'm just winning every game, and that's why I'm saying I think the patch is good. I definitely think this patch is a step in the right direction, but I still personally feel this game needs quite a lot more work to fulfill the potential maybe that it has. I'm going to be streaming every single night over at my Twitch, Zelonius92. It'd be great to see more of you guys on there. I'll be playing high-level Elite Division rivals. I think tonight we'll be playing my Foot Champs playoffs, and we've got Foot Champs over the weekend. I do appreciate the support so much on the YouTube channel, the Twitch lately. You guys have been absolutely killing it. We're nearly at 500,000 views in the last 2 to 3 weeks, which is easily the best I've ever had on a FIFA. My Twitch, I had a subscriber goal of 100 subs by the end of October. We're at 110 in the middle of October. Your guys' support has been incredible. I love you guys. I appreciate the support you guys show so much. Let me know if there's any specific types of videos you guys want to see. I'm always trying to put out videos that I think are going to help you guys improve. Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully this has helped you understand the new patch a little bit more, how to play on the new patch. Be great to see you guys in my stream. Appreciate you all. Have a spicy evening. I hope to see you tomorrow for the Rule Breakers promo where we're doing a tier list. Peace.